Good morning. This is Bill Blatchford with another edition of Mornings with Bill. The topic I'd like to discuss today is the independent practice of dentistry. So I picked out this shirt as a very appropriate shirt, and Clay, who does my recordings, came up with this great cup to go with it. They actually probably clash, but anyway, here's what I'd like to talk about. You know, the reason I went into dentistry and the reason many of you went into dentistry was to be independent. That is, privately employed, private industry, into entrepreneurial spirit, you know, the great American dream. And yet what's happening in dentistry right now is there is a huge influence from corporate dentistry. And the reason Wall Street has gotten involved in corporate dentistry is there's money there. I mean, that's what the old bank robber said, go where the money is. And so they're buying up dental practices, putting chains together, hiring dentists to work in these. And just like happened recently in the state of New York, one of the large chains was fined a peanut, a very small amount, $450,000 I believe, and told to cease and desist, having non-dentist treatment plan their patients. Diagnose and treatment plan. Now, they argued, of course, that they weren't doing the diagnosis and treatment planning, but non-dentists were setting up the treatment guidelines. In other words, in certain situations, this corporate guideline allows you to do this treatment. And those treatments were determined by the corporate bean counters based on the bottom line of the corporation. Now, that's all going on and it's happening all across America. And here's the thing that they're doing. They're pouring huge amounts of money into advertising in every community. But one of the things that I've recently decided to do, as many of you know, my daughter Christina, who is a dentist in Portland, is coming into this business with me. And we sat down and talked about the next 20 years of this business. I'll be 92 in 20 years, by the way. I still expect to be here. But we made a commitment. And the commitment we have made is to private practice, independent practices. Now, I have several people that do the same thing I do, that have one I recently had a conversation with, that has formed a complete division for corporate dentistry. Another one has set up a department of corporate dentistry. And they're teaching the same things I'm teaching to all of you as independents to both sides of the fence. So we made a decision. We are only going to work with private practice, not corporate. Now, that's probably going to cost us some potential revenue in the future. But I am really committed to the private practice and the entrepreneurial opportunities that you all have, and I believe that we will deliver better quality of care to our patients. You see, I know as a dentist, and I practiced 20 years, and some of you have practiced less than that, some of you more than that, and even in my 20 years of practicing, you know, I had children in my practice when I started, and the 20 years later, I had their children in the practice. And so you see, there was 3 generations in just 20 years. Now, I didn't have many of those 3-generation families in 20 years, but I'm going to do a better job for a patient when I know I'm going to see the parents, I'm going to see their children, I'm going to see them again next year, I'm going to see them 10 years from now, than if it's one of these chains, and I'm not going to pick on any of them because some of them are delivering some excellent care. But I just believe that last little bit of quality and caring that I do is going to be better when I'm planning on a long-term relationship with this family. You see, one of the things that I don't like about the corporate model is this. They attract people in for something inexpensive whitening, inexpensive exam, whatever, and then they start to add things on, of course, and their system works this way. They know that many of these patients will only come in one time. So it's very often a high-pressure type of sales environment, which I don't want to have take place in dentistry. I don't want my family treated that way. I don't want you to treat your patients that way. I want you to learn to treat your patients more like family. And that is my commitment to you in private practice, independent practices. Now, I'm going to ask you for a favor for that, because I'm not taking on corporate dentistry. I need referrals from each of you for our Platinum Coaching Program. These are doctors, like many of you who are in our program, that want to maintain this private fee-for-service practice in the United States. You can tweet me at Dr. Blatchford.